What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
And here's what's up on a Friday edition of the program. The most celebrated return to the Buckeye State since LeBron James. Jeff Hogan, 10 TV. How's that sound, brother?
I think it sounds great, man. It sounds like coming home. Feels good. It's good to be with you. How are you?
How do you not age?
Come on, man.
Come on, dude.
Trying to keep up with you.
Please, dude. I'm bald, fat. I got a million problems. Look at you. You look fantastic.
Yeah, but sounding good isn't one of them, I tell you.
When I got to Channel 10, I honestly thought you were Bruce Wayne, because you would do this. You were doing the Blue Jackets. You were in sports at that time,
Correct.
And you were doing the Blue Jackets pregame, and you would do 10 TV sports, and then you would bus to the arena as fast as you could, or sometimes you do the sports live at the arena, and then I would flip over and you doing pregame,
right?
And I'm like, what can't this dude do?
It was a neat trick.
It was.
Well, I tell you, it was phenomenal. I might have broken a few local laws in getting from the station to the arena on certain game nights. We kind of looked the other way on it, but I will tell you that when I was live in the arena, I would have the mic flag up on the stick mic for 10 TV, and in break, I would lower the mic flag, unplug it, and put the Fox mic flag on it for the pregame, turn around and face the other camera, and off we went. It was television magic.
It was. How did this come about, brother? I mean, this is an incredible thing.
I heard you made some calls, and I appreciate it. It was kind of you. It's something that I tell you, I never would have thought would have happened. I actually, when I was here for 20 years, never thought I'd leave. Mm-hmm. And when I left, never pictured coming back. I don't know why. It was a good spot. I was in a good place, and it was a good place. But the draw of coming home and the opportunity to do something special and rewrite, what I hope is the last stop on this journey. That's what I'm trying to make it. But it took a lot of people and a lot of different ways of talking and making sure that things were being done right, and I would be part of it. And I was excited to be part of it. And I'm so excited to be back, and it could not be a better coming home right now than this.
So Jeff will be anchoring the evening newscasts on Channel 10. It's so great to have you back. You are one of those guys who's always been very malleable in the business. I believe I was on the golf course with you at Golf Club at Dublin when you got the call from that building that was near the Capitol that, hey, I need you to come down here. We're going to talk. And you left on the fifth hole, and I finished by myself. But we're going to talk a little bit about you doing some news now. And you've always been somebody who's been able to do it. And in the way that news is being told now, it's never been more critical to be as much of a 5-tool player as you can.
It is hypercritical now to be the type of person that, like the word you used, malleable. You have to molt with what is going on, and you have to show up where the people are. You have to bring the news to people where they are, and that's 100% where we are in this business. And I credit it back to sports. All the time spending in sports and having to adjust on the fly. You never know how that game's going to go, how it's going to end, and it changes the narrative by the second sometimes. So in order to be able to do that on your feet, think on your feet, and be able to make those changes, look at that. Who's the rookie that left his phone on?
What are you, Taberry?
When he comes in, yeah.
That's what Dom does.
Except not quite as important as him. But
he's the mayor now.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But it is so important to be able to meet the people where they are and bring them what matters to them most in a way that they're consuming it these days. It's changed. You got to be able to change.
Yeah, you have to. I think back sometimes of all of the things and the way that we did things and everything. It was so big. All of it was. It was a wild time. It was a fun time to be in it. When you look back to your sports days here, and you were the main sports anchor here for a long time. Moose, of course, the sports director. But when you were here and you think of some of those massive events, what are some of your favorite memories from your time here the last time around?
I tell you, I really go back when people ask that. I always go back to the 1998 Final Four run for Ohio State basketball. And, you know, the machine of football churns out every year and the expectations and all that every year. Well, basketball had just come off a couple of terrible years. It was my first year. They were a sub-500 team, I think. And my first year here was the Michael Redd year before he left after that amazing run to the Final Four. And nobody expected it. And it was one of the greatest journeys ever when we left to go over to Indianapolis for the Big Ten tournament, or it may have been Chicago that year for the Big Ten tournament before they moved to Indy. And then the first round of the tournament was in Indy, and I think it was UCLA was in that bracket, and everybody thought, well, that's the end of that road, you know. And then Detroit upset UCLA, and then the big center, Kenny, I forget what his last name was, but he was a Detroit guy, and they were playing Detroit, and it was a great storyline, and Buckeyes beat Detroit and moved on to the next round. So we went down to Tennessee, I want to say. It was Knoxville, and then won there, and Auburn was in that region. St. John was in that region. I mean, when they were beasts, and just the improbable run. And when we were in Knoxville and our managers called us after they had won the region and went to the final, we're headed to the Final Four in Tampa. They were like, yeah, just, you're halfway there. Just keep going. And I'm like, nobody packed for this. You know, we thought it was going to be a weekend and coming back one and done in that. So that was one of the incredible runs, but also just having, you know, Jim O'Brien, hosting Jim O'Brien's show back in the day, John Cooper's last shows back in the day, being host of those, and then turning over to the Tressel era and hosting all his shows throughout his tenure, and Thad Matta's tenure. And meantime, you know, doing our daily job, plus the Blue Jackets when they were in season. It was a run like no other, and I did that took years off my life.
It doesn't look it. No, you're right. I always feel that way about the college basketball, the Final Four run, like the run they had with Sully and those guys, because it was, you don't know when it's going to stop. It's thrilling, and you're in like this traveling bandwagon that just goes from city to city, and you see the same people at the same places. So a lot of times that's a very similar answer to the one that I give my friend. Look, your kids were born here.
Right.
And now the girls are in college, you're empty nesters, you and Jeans.
Yeah, and this
come on, man.
I know you and Amy will get there. You'll know what I'm talking about.
One of them might end up in Lucasville. We'll see.
It is, well, you know, I got 3 squares. You know, it's fine. Right. But honestly, my kids were born in Riverside, right? And they spent the first 15 years of their lives here, and so this will always be home. We have a base here. They have friends here. It's incredible. The people that we left and are coming back to, like nothing changed. You know, it's fantastic. We've kept in touch. We've kept friends, and it's going to be a very easy, smooth transition to come back. When we left, I told the kids, "Listen, you're not old enough to vote, so you don't get a say in this." But this time around, I said, "Hey, you're old enough to vote." They're both seniors in college, and so they were like, "We're all for it. Let's go."
So I got to tell you, the first time used to throw this party. I can't remember what it was for.
Cinco de Mayo.
That's
legendary.
Cinco de Mayo party.
It was legendary.
It's pretty legendary. I remember the first year I got invited to it, and you went down in your basement in the house you had in Dublin, and you had a beer tap out of the wall. And I said, I'm going to like this guy. Like that was...
That was the selling point. I was like,
this guy's going to be all right. Guy's going to be all right, buddy.
Having a bucket of Coors Light in the studio here, you didn't have to do that for me. You know, I was coming anyway.
You were going to come anyway, buddy. I guess I'll get you out of here on this one. What is your philosophy of doing your job now in a world that's changed very much in 2025? What does that look like? What are you bringing to the evening newscast now this time around?
I just think. I don't think it's changed over the years what we need to bring. We need to be a voice for the people, you know, and that is an extension into the public. And that is one of the things that I enjoy the most, honestly, after doing everything that I've done in this town sports-wise, and then the transition into news and following in the footsteps. Well, let me tell you, some great journalists, you know, the Dave Kaler and Angela Paces and the Jerry Revishes and the Andrea Camberns of the world, to the current day people that are still here that I worked with. You know, I've learned so much along the way. I've seen so much of how this can and should be done. And then when you bring into the modern day world, let's bring in the problems that still exist out there. So, I have such a vested interest in this community from the things that I've been involved with in the past and the things that I want to be involved with moving forward, that, we're going to meet the people where they are, however they consume their news. We're going to bring that to them and bring it to them truthfully and bring it to them in a way that they can trust on a nightly basis and have a reason that something might be new around here. It's worth taking a look. And I can't wait to start doing that and can't wait to start being involved again in this community here. There's so many things, there's food insecurity, there's, homelessness, there's all kinds of things in the community that I want to be part of and be part of the solution.
It's got to, I just was thinking about this, and you think about you're coming back in here, like Ohio State plays Texas again.
Right.
Like, here we go.
Right.
Right, we're right back.
What could be better?
It's like deja vu all over again.
I feel like that is a wonderful homecoming present that game is scheduled for then. And Jeannie, University of Texas grad, she's a tough one. So if you come across a pair, she's going to be in the building one way or the other. I'm sure. But I'd like to be too with her.
Yep.
It's going to be great fun. But we're going to do our best to give voice to the voiceless out there, Beau. As you guys, we all use our voices every day, and we're going to use it in the proper way.
You're the best, buddy. We benefit bigly by having you back. I'm sure you're late for an editorial meeting, and I don't want to get in any more trouble with Big Rick. So you get you go do your work, and it's great seeing you, brother.
No worries there, Beau. Appreciate it. Talk to you soon. Thank you.
All right, there he goes. 10 TV's Jeff Hogan. It feels good. It sounds good. I like saying that again. We'll catch you up on what happened last night in the preseason football. May even allow these guys to talk a little baseball. We'll see. That's coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.